Does UPSC provide hints in the UPSC prelims exam paper somewhere hidden in the statements? Or can we use these so-called hints provided by UPSC to solve the so-called or the seemingly difficult questions? Well, hello, dear friends. I am Zishan Hashmi, and today we'll be solving two questions from the 2017 prelims paper, where we will be solving these two questions, assuming we don't have any idea whatsoever regarding both of these questions. The first question being question 42 over here, and the question is, consider the following statements. The India Africa Summit, statement 1, held in 2015 was the third such summit. Statement 2, was actually initiated by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1951. Now, people might have had, when they gave this exam, they might have had some idea regarding this summit being asked. But knowing these provisions or these details was a difficult task for most of the students. But is there a hint given to us by UPSC? If I encircle or highlight this word actually, what do we get? Now, again, reading the statement, it was actually initiated by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1951. And if I say that here actually is a superfluous word, अब आप में से कई लोग पूछोगे कि ये superfluous word क्या होता है? So putting it simply, guys, putting it very, very simply, when a phrase, a word is used without there being a need of it, that is called as a superfluous word, as simple as that. Now, assuming there is no actually written here, how would we read it? That it was initiated by Jawaharlal Nehru in 1951. Now the statement still makes complete sense. Number one. Number two, see, UPSC provides very, very standard write-ups. And these write-ups and these questions and the formats of these questions are very formal in nature. As you can see it on the screen, they are very, very formal in nature. So using terminologies like actually, in fact, in a way takes away that formal tone of the question paper that UPSC chooses for its papers. So here we are assuming, or we are zeroing in on the word actually as the superfluous word, and we are assuming statement 2 to be incorrect. Now we are not sure. We are not at all sure whether statement 2 is right or statement 2 is wrong. But we are strongly assuming statement 2 to be wrong because of the word actually being used here, which is a superfluous word, and we have eliminated statement 2. Now there is another important hack, dear students, that needs to be understood here, which is, if there is a hint given in one statement, hint in one statement makes the another statement correct. Now you would say, sir, what does this mean? There is hint in one statement. ठीक है, hint तो समझ में आ गया that the word, a superfluous word is given here, that is acting as a hint. ठीक है, इतना तो समझ में आ गया. But आगे का ये क्या चक्कर है कि if there is hint in one statement, then how does the second statement gets correct? That's how it is. In most of the cases, if there is a deliberate hint, an explicit hint given by UPSC in one of the statements, then the other statement actually becomes correct. As seen in this case, there is hint in statement 2. So statement 1 automatically becomes correct. Now we may not know whether it was held in 2015 was the third such summit or not. In such a case, when we don't know whether it was third, fourth, or fifth, we will assume statement 1 to be correct. Now let's understand what have we done here. We just glanced through the question very quickly, and we read both the statements. In the statement number 2, as we saw here, there was a superfluous word that XYZ was actually initiated in 1951. Now we don't really need this word actually, and we can remove this word and the statement still makes complete sense. Now this might take some practice. Spotting of superfluous words needs some practice, but after you get a good hang over it, it acts as a very powerful tool in eliminating statements, in spotting those hints. Coming back to the statement 2 has this superfluous word. We strongly assumed it incorrect. And as there is hint in one statement, this is a two statement question, right? As there is hint in statement 2, statement 1 becomes correct as per this hack of ours that we just discussed, that if there is hint in one statement, other statement becomes correct. That is our strong assumption. We don't know the answer for sure. Still, we will be marking option A as our correct answer. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Now, moving ahead to the next question from the same paper, question 44. The question here says, what is or are unique about Kharai camel, a breed found in India? And the statements are, it is capable of swimming up to 3 kilometers in seawater. It survives by grazing on mangroves. It lives in the wild and cannot be domesticated. And we have been given different options here. Now, what if we haven't heard anything about Kharai camel, or we haven't heard or read anything about this particular breed being asked in the question? What should we do? Should we just skip this question because we haven't read about it, or should we look for that deliberate hint given by UPSC so that we can solve this question very easily? If we look closely, the students, statement number 3 says that it lives in the wild and cannot be domesticated. As you can see on the screen, that it cannot be domesticated. What we are applying here, as I teach to my students in the workshop, is feasibility test. Feasibility test. Is the statement, or does the statement looks feasible or not? Now the question that naturally comes to the mind is, at a time when people or humans have domesticated much more feral animals, why not a camel? So statement 3 looks highly unreasonable, and we are strongly assuming it to be incorrect. Now again, we are not sure whether statement 3 is correct or incorrect, but because of the fact that we applied feasibility test here, we have strongly assumed statement 3 to be incorrect. Now let's see, after eliminating statement 3, what are we left with? Option D, option C, and option B automatically get eliminated because all have statement 3 in them. D has 3, C has 3, and B also has 3, and only option A remains, 1 and 2, which is the correct answer in this case. Now let's again see what have we done. We quickly glanced through the question, assuming that we had no idea whatsoever about the question being asked. We tried to find that particular hint given by UPSC, and in statement 3 we applied feasibility test. We saw whether statement 3 is seems feasible or not, and we found that it seems very unreasonable, or it fails the feasibility test. We assumed strongly that statement 3 is incorrect. So by that virtue, we eliminated option B, we eliminated option C, we eliminated option D, and only option A remains, which has only 1 and 2, which is in this case the correct answer. So dear students, we have solved these two questions, question 42 and question 44 from 2017 UPSC prelims paper, assuming we had no idea whatsoever about the question being asked, just by using the so-called hints given by UPSC. So, guys, just as you know, I'll be coming up with daily brief discussions of these kinds, where I'll be discussing 2 or 3 questions from past year papers, where I'll be solving and explaining questions using logical skills, using intelligent guessing techniques, and how we can maximize our net correct marks in case of those questions. So this was all for today, dear students. And if you want to learn these skills in a more detailed manner, in a more productive manner, then do explore the link provided both in the comment section below and in the description box below to enroll for the Destroy Prelims 2022 club, where you can also access tests based on this very format of questions that is in line with the changing pattern of UPSC prelims exam. Also, do join the Telegram group where you can interact with me on a daily basis. The link for it is also provided in the first comment and the description box below. All right, dear students, that was all for today. See you guys tomorrow. Jai Hind.